Hey, what's up guys, it's T-Bone here and welcome back to another episode of playing Legendary Game of Heroes. So this week's event is called the Clash of the Olympians, and they've already advertised it as the light version of the Halloween deck. So this is now iteration 3 of a Halloween deck with the same makeup. So the cards are different, but it has exactly the same game mechanic as the Cosmic Bunny event. So I'm not really going to spend too much time talking about the decks themselves. Instead, I want to kind of go into a couple of fights and also talk about some of the cards that I built. And you'll also notice that my gem count has decreased since the last video. That's because I decided to try my luck to go for the ultra rare card, Apollo. And I got extremely lucky. I got 2 of them actually. I got 1 on tier 4. And then when I tried to exit out, because I just really wanted the 1, so I was really happy with the 1. Then when I tried to exit out, I accidentally hit the buy button for my last 4,000 gems and bought tier 5, but another Apollo showed up on tier 5. So I actually do have 2 ultra rare cards at this point, which is really good for me, and I'm really happy about that. So I do want to showcase how this works in a couple of decks. So let's go ahead and go into a fight right now. So I'm going through the maps right now, and so let's go ahead and attack, and we will bring in, let's try and bring in somebody who's gonna boost a Fable card. Aladdin's a good one, but it doesn't boost the card I'm looking for. So let's see, Monk, okay. I guess I could also bring in, well, okay, so I can bring her in. So she's one of the required cards for this collection, and I also have set her as the leader, so it's going to double boost me. So you can see the team I have right now. I've got Aladdin, and I got the 2 Apollos, and then I got a Golden Warrior just to, I thought that the Golden Warrior would be a good addition to this team. Like once I get this to 6-star and I can start getting full board full of gems, I can power up additional power gems with him. So this is the deck I'm running with right now, and you can see I also have 2 of the Infernal Lances plus a Rose Spear, which all boost Fable intensity, plus the Lamp, which gives me additional light gems based on having Fable cards in the deck. And so let's go ahead into the fight, and let's kind of show the mechanic of this here. And I might actually go into a campaign to sort of show what happens, like how easy it is to get the intensity up and running for this deck here. And so I only have these ultra rares at 5 stars. I'm going to be working pretty hard to get them to 6 stars because it's a little bit slower in a commander event to collect all the necessary catalysts. But anyways, the goal here is you just want to power them and try to increase your intensity as much as possible. Obviously. It has a 9 gem requirement, and the thing is at 5 stars, the ultra rares require 20 intensity before it would actually generate a power gem. So while I do want to try and increase intensity, what I'll do is I'll just let 1 turn go so I can add additional 15 intensity there. So okay, so let's go ahead and defeat the boss now, and then we will use the skills at turn, I guess, in the next wave, and sort of show you, like with 2 ultra rare, I think it's more than enough. I really just thought I wanted 1 because this is one of those cards that doesn't have any restrictions. So 350 intensity will get you an entire board full of power gem 1s. With 2, then you can upgrade that to power gem 2s. All right, so now that I have this, I'm gonna go ahead and activate Aladdin, and then I'm not gonna activate her skill because that's gonna kill everything. And so you can see at 60 I can create 3 right now, and I'll get another 3. Well, actually 4 total because I get 1 plus 1 for every 20 intensity, and I'll activate Golden Warrior to get another few, and then I'm gonna go ahead and just randomly match the cards, the gems here, to take out Hades here. So the fact that it's just that this makes it, the fact that this is Fable card allows me to really mix and match the cards so that I could build a couple of different decks that can work in both commander and Slayer events. And so a little bit different than the Bunny event, where it was based on a technical logical, card. Fable gives me more, diversity. I mean, that's sort of more options to play with. And so now let's take a look at the different teams I've made up here. So this is one that I just showed you for the commander. And I also built another one that is, I could actually focus on a Slayer, which this is without the ultra rare. So I'm using Catherine as the leader, and Astral and Aladdin as my gen spawners, and also Aladdin for heal. Bone Collector would be, I kind of just threw this together to think about like dispelling fear. And then Raquel, Unicorn Princess, which is also a Fable card, is a passive gen spawner. So now the way I could actually, change this deck is I could easily make my, let's just go ahead and build this right now. So what I'll show you is, let's go ahead and unequip them all. I can kind of talk about like, what goes through my mind when I'm building decks, right? So given what I have right now, assuming that everything is at 6 stars, I'm going to go ahead and do and I'll just do Fable. So all of the Fable cards, you can see that I have 12 of them, so I have quite a few right now. And so what I'll do obviously is I'll have Apollo as my 2 cards as the power gem spawners, and this is going to be, even though I have the Alexa deck already, I think that this is just a lot easier, right? And so I'm gonna swap it to use Apollos here, and Catherine is actually a good choice for me, but I'm gonna use Aladdin because Aladdin actually gives me heal, so I don't really need the additional bonus for immunity that Catherine gives you, and this is already a Slayer card. And so if I were to bring another Slayer card in here, I could bring in Raquel, right? And so right now I have a pretty good Slayer deck already, and then I can leave this one for whatever I need, whether it's to dispel gem silence or fear or anything else. And also if I don't have vent housing leveled up, but I could just put in Catherine for now, and then I could put in all of my Fable relics, and I'll be pretty successful here with 3 Slayer cards. So this would be a good Slayer event deck, right? And so this is why I think that making a Fable card is a really good choice, because it does bring that variety there. Now let's go and talk about the cards now. So we have the support card, Lyceus, which is the Herald of Apollo, and this card, is basically, you're not really counting on this card for attack. You're really using this to generate intensity. At 6 stars, this will increase your Fable intensity by 10. And so if you're running with a couple of them, then I think that you're going to be able to build your intensity really fast, because you can do this every single turn, and so you'll be able to fill up the board a lot faster. And then the event card is Gawking Zeus. This is a nuke card in that the battle skill at 5 stars will attack for 500% attack plus 5,000 for every 5 stacks of intensity. It'll go up to 1,000 for every 5 stacks of intensity at 6 stars, and it only has a 3-turn cooldown. So this is a really strong nuking card. And also it has a 400% damage and health boost for all light Fable heroes for guild versus guild. And then we already saw the ultra rare card. We can take a look at the ultra rare, which is Eternal Chronos, who's father of Zeus. So it makes sense that he's the the ultra rare here. At 6 stars, it will create 1 light power gem 1 and additional 1 for every 8 stacks of Fable intensity. One of the fastest gem spawners in the game, and it does have a 7-turn cooldown. So that's the only weakness there, but it does have a nice passive in that it'll increase the drop rate of light gems for the first 3 turns. Now, let's take a look at some of the cards that are also required for the collection here. The Mind Taker. So the Mind Taker has, it's one of the honor cards there. The other one is Lady Sensha, and I think works with Monk as well. So this one will attack a dark enemy for 1300% of attack, but it's also a turn delayer, so it'll delay the enemy turn by 1. It has the same passive of increasing the drop rate of light gems for the first 3 turns, so the same as Chronos there. And then Archangel Mithril is a really nice Dren card. So this card will, it will moderately increase the drop rate of light gems until your next turn at 5 stars, and then at 6 stars it improves it to greatly. It casts Focus Laser, which works for, I believe, T. Cooper, right? So if you have T. Cooper, this is the card that you can use. And it also has a passive that actually will, spawn additional light gems on turn 1 if you're fighting Lucifer. Now, the final card, which I've always had a hard time pronouncing, I believe it's Scheherazade. I think this was with Aladdin. I can't quite remember. And anyway, so this card is not as useful. It has a very low attack and health, a very low attack power, and it does have 0 turn cooldown. But aside from that, it's not really the most useful card. Oh, and the last thing I forgot to mention, this guild boss is going to be running Fear, so something to think about. Anyway, so this is sort of the cards, right? And I think that what I would like to see is, if you do get Archangel Mithril, it's a really good card to have. And if you have good Fable cards, this is the time to mix and match them together. And given that this is just the first day in the Commander event, there's really not a whole lot I can do. I don't really have a lot of guild boss keys, and I don't. They're too weak right now. For me to really be able to show the deck, with any significant damage done. So I think what I'll do is I'll wait a couple of days and I'll come back when my solo boss's level's higher, and then we can talk about that again. So that's it for this episode. Thanks for watching. Thanks for your time, and I will see you in the next episode. Take care.